visiting Somaliland president opens embassy in Jerusalem. Abdirahman Mohammed Abdullah launches site in capital's Har Hatzvim High-Tech Park. Foreign minister reveals guest was in Israel 2 months before recognizing it. Somaliland President Abdirahman Mohammed Abdullahi and Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar opened Somaliland's embassy in Jerusalem on Monday, the 8th top-level diplomatic mission in the capital. Abdullahi is making his first state visit abroad since becoming president. In December, Israel became the first country in the world to recognize Somaliland, which broke away from Somalia in 1991. The Muslim nation's embassy is in Jerusalem's Har Hatzvim High-Tech Park. Somaliland's first ambassador to a foreign country presented his diplomatic credentials to President Isaac Herzog in March. Dr. Mohammed Hagi, appointed in February, had been serving as an advisor to Abdullahi and was an architect of Israel-Somaliland relations. The United States, Guatemala, Honduras, Kosovo, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, and Fiji also have embassies in Jerusalem, while other countries, including Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia, have embassy branches in the capital. Other countries refuse to move their embassies to the city so long as Palestinian claims to its eastern neighborhoods have not been addressed in a peace agreement. Saar met with Abdullahi earlier at the Foreign Ministry in Jerusalem, revealing in a readout from his office that the two had also met at the ministry in October, in secret, 2 months before Israel's recognition. I will always be proud of the privilege I had to write, with you and your people, the first pages in the story of the Israel-Somaliland relationship. I am certain this partnership will continue to grow stronger for the benefit of both our nations, Saar said, thanking Abdullahi for his historic decision to open an embassy in Jerusalem. Saar acknowledged that there are indeed challenges in building the relationship between Israel and Somaliland. Jerusalem's unilateral recognition of the country was condemned internationally, including by the African Union and over a dozen Muslim-majority nations, which also issued a joint statement condemning Somaliland's decision to open its embassy in Jerusalem. Unfortunately, there are many trying to undermine bilateral ties. They will not be successful, Saar vowed, adding, I am certain this partnership will continue to grow stronger for the benefit of both our nations. On Sunday, Abdullahi met with Herzog at the president's residence in Jerusalem, where he said that Somaliland will remember Israel's recognition of his country and its willingness to host the first-ever state visit by its leader. Israel has taken part in a moment that will be remembered in the diplomatic history of our nation, and we do not take that gesture lightly, said Abdullahi. Somaliland has been reaching out to the world leaders for the last 35 years, he continued. They were asking only one question, to see us. Only one country desired to see us and recognize Somaliland, and that's the government of Israel and its people. Herzog said the bilateral relationships must move from declarations to people-to-people cooperation in a range of fields, and we had a very interesting discussion on that, of so many topics of common interest, and we both also face strategic challenges which are important to both nations. We both face the threat of radical extremism, added Herzog. We both seek security and stability in the region and in the Horn of Africa. We both see the importance of protecting maritime freedom. Saar also previously met Abdullahi during an official visit to the Somaliland capital in January. When Israel recognized Somaliland in December, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu invited Abdullahi to visit. At the time, Abdullahi said that Somaliland would join the Abraham Accords, calling it a step toward regional and global peace. The 2020 Accords were brokered by Trump's first administration and included Israel formalizing diplomatic relations with the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, with other countries, including Morocco, joining later. The agreement with Morocco was followed by Israel recognizing Rabat's sovereignty over the contested Western Sahara region. Aside from Israel, no other United Nations member states have recognized Somaliland. How did Eritrea respond to Ethiopia's accusations? Eritrea's information minister has said that the theatrical and false allegations made by Ethiopia's national security chief about Eritrea are untrue. A press release issued by the Director of National Intelligence and Security Services of Ethiopia, Redwan Hussein, warned that the TPLF is preparing to wage war against the Ethiopian government in the near future from Eritrea. In the article, written in English, Ethio-Eritrea, an advisor to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, accused Eritrea of supporting TPLF fighters. Thursday's statement also accused President Isaias Afwerki of opposing the Pretoria Agreement. With support and encouragement from Asmara, the TPLF decided to launch an attack on the Ethiopian federal government in recent days, he said. With direct support from Eritrea, it continues to recruit, train, and equip a large number of armed forces, he accused the ruling TPLF. The analysis, which did not provide any concrete evidence, noted that the forces he said were led by Eritrea were currently holding secret and non-secret meetings in Asmara, Mekelle, and Sudan to incite further conflict. Recently, sources told the BBC that the TPLF-led parliament is preparing to approve an interventionist declaration. The Tigray Regional State Declaration is a national duty to accept the call to action of the Tigray government and fulfill its obligation. The TPLF claims that the current government in Tigray was formed in the September 2020 elections that the federal government rejected as illegal. Minister Yemane Gebremeskel argued on Friday that Asmara was not opposed to the peace agreement that ended 2 years of bloody conflict in Tigray. Instead, he accused the ruling Prosperity Party and the Ethio-Eritrea negotiating team of planning an invasion of Eritrea. Eritrea was dragged into forced conflict with the consent of the federal government, the Eritrean official said. In this context, if all parties implement the contents in good faith, Eritrea has no political will or interest to disrupt the agreement reached by Ethiopian forces, Yemane wrote on X. She opposed the propaganda and disinformation campaign against Eritrea by officials in Addis Ababa, saying its aim was to fuel conflict and hostility. The guns are clashing and shouting, he said, referring to Ethiopia's claim to access and ownership of the port. The Eritrean government argued that TPLF actions against Ethiopian forces in Tigray, known as Northern Tani, provoked the war and were a plan to attack Eritrea. There has been an ongoing conflict between the TPLF and the HGDF-led government in Eritrea since the border war between the two countries. However, in recent years, both sides have seemed to have come closer to resolving the conflict with the Ethiopian government. While Asmara and Mekelle are trying to strengthen their friendship in the name of Operation, Addis Ababa is looking at them with suspicion and hostility. Getachew and Redwan, who signed the Pretoria Agreement in November 2022 facing each other, wrote, "The conflict within Ethiopia is President Isaias' dream." The Eritrean leader initially described the agreement as interim, but later said he wanted it to be implemented. Getachew, who signed the agreement for the TPLF, was the party's vice chairman and president of the Tigray Transitional Federal Government after the agreement. He said that radical members of the TPLF leadership, whom he did not name, wanted to sign a ceasefire to continue the fighting. The TPLF recently announced that it had dissolved the transitional administration and established a regional government under its own leadership. As for the federal government, there were allegations that the TPLF had violated the terms of the agreement and its military cooperation with Eritrea. Concerned about the growing tension between the two sides, the African Union sent a special envoy to Tigray to sign the agreement. A delegation led by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo visited Mekelle on June 11th to hold talks with TPLF leaders. The purpose of this visit is to make sure that things don't get worse than they are now, he told state media. A week ago, the TPLF accused the federal forces of moving to impose a blockade on Tigray again. Massive mobilization by the National Defense Forces on the Tigray border is exacerbating the tension, the statement said, without providing any clear evidence or details. The country's security forces have been in the neighboring regions of Amhara and Afar for a long time. The Ethiopian army has been fighting Fano fighters in the Amhara region. Tensions between Addis Ababa and Mekelle have raised fears of an unnecessary conflict. The dispute is likely to involve Eritrea.